Hey, this is Sense, and I just got back from seeing Free Guy this week. I was originally going to see Respect, but plans fell through, so I just dashed over to the theater to see Free Guy last minute after hearing some good reviews. Good word of mouth reviews. I don't usually check for proper reviews before I go. Definitely some good jokes, some good visual gags. I am familiar with general Twitch and all that kind of online culture, so I do know a little bit there. I was checking the side, see there was some appropriate Twitch emotes. There were a few, a lot were missing, but I mean, it makes sense. You can't get permission for all of that. Also, I mean, Twitch chat is not going to be that nice. So that's the other thing that was interesting is they kept saying YouTube and Twitch, and then they were showing Twitch, but it had YouTube's logo on it. So I was like, all right, you guys just kind of mashed it up together here. And there's also a few, hey, let me just stop before I get too far into talking about all these minor details and talk about the movie itself. I guess I'll just get right into the rating. I think I'll give this one a 3 out of 5. It's almost honestly up to a 4 out of 5, but overall, there wasn't anything that specifically brought down. I just felt like there wasn't anything that specifically elevated it either. So that's why I'm leaving it at a 3 out of 5. But yeah, let's just get more down into more details. I thought the acting was pretty good. Recognized Joe Carey from, Stranger Things. Poor guy. He's probably got that label following him like a lot of other actors. He did pretty good. I definitely enjoyed him and the actress playing a part across from him. I definitely enjoyed the way their story dynamic worked out. And the way the whole story was set was also pretty good. Ryan Reynolds did his Ryan Reynolds thing. It was pretty good. It's the type of movie where you kind of want that. It was an interesting overall story because they were borrowing a lot of familiar elements. I know the movies, but my mind's blanking. It's a little late. I'm forgetting the titles. I'll probably show some quick pictures of the posters or something. But there was definitely a lot of times where I was like, oh, I know this. That scene of him on the beach was like, I've definitely seen this one before, but I think that was kind of the point. And then kind of a mix of that, those kind of movies with something like a Wreck-It Ralph, where you just see a lot of references, a lot of game stuff. Not too much. It was more about the gaming culture online than the actual games themselves. But it was just nice seeing some stuff in the backgrounds. I saw like cars changing colors and patterns as we went. Drove by in the background. Just some fun scenes with like a car bouncing on top of another. All these other things that you know that if there was a big, super popular game, you would expect people to be into that. Definitely a few elements I think they borrowed from Fortnite. Characters running up this building and is being built and moved as they ran up. It wasn't directly Fortnite or anything, but it felt like it was inspired by that. And then you had actual Twitch streamers and YouTubers, Ninja, Pokimane, I'm forgetting the other other names. I recognized them. I don't personally feel like it did too much. Some of their comments and all that, and just kind of, I'm pretty sure I've seen another movie where it had the same message of, don't hurt the NPCs. How about toning down the violence? You're just doing your games for no reasons. And if this game is as popular as they're saying, and the way it felt inspired by GTA, I felt like there already would have been people playing it in a more passive-friendly way with NPCs. And then, I don't know, overall, there was probably something more they were saying there, but that was kind of not that important to the story, I don't think, honestly. It was just kind of a fun ride kind of a story. I don't feel like they fully committed as much to the video game aspect as they could have. They did a lot of cool little things, but some of the other things I remember from like Ready Player One. That's another game, I think. Another movie I think that this was definitely got some inspiration from. Oh, my mind just jumped to another thing, but did they do some reshoots, some edition stuff after Disney ended up owning Fox? Because when that music cue kicked in, I was like, oh wow. I said I'm going to jump to spoilers, but I'm really not, just in case you want to enjoy seeing it in theaters or whenever you see it online yourself. But that was very interesting. Story itself was nothing too crazy. I thought it was pretty serviceable, pretty interesting. That I think Taika Waititi had played a very fun character once again. Just saw him as Ratcatcher 1, and here he is again, but this time he got to use his real accent a little bit, and he got to be more fun, over the top. I'm pretty sure half the memorable quotes, not that I can list them off right now, but they're definitely stuff he said. So it was definitely a fun character in that aspect. At the end, I kind of wanted him to not make him so one note and greedy. And that's, I guess, one issue I had with this movie is you definitely had a number of times characters were saying things where you're like, I mean, yeah, it makes sense to say it, but at the same time, you're kind of breaking the fourth wall to say we're saying this as writers to the audience right now. And it's like, okay, try and keep it within story. Some of it worked, some of it didn't. And I felt like some of his lines definitely kind of fell really flat towards the end. You're like, what is his real driving point? Because if he was doing this to make money, like he keeps saying, or zero, at one point he was talking about numbers which were better than money or the same as money or something. I don't know, that was going back and forth. I think he was trying to connect with our main character, not main character, trying to connect with Joe Carey's character, Keys, on some coding side of thing, but it was just a little weird because I don't know, it just was a little strange. And if he was all about the money, he would know that getting the rights to do Free City 2 or 3 means absolutely nothing when the whole marketing around that whole thing is trash. And he is aware of marketing. Like, he saw Blue Shirt Guy was popular, he said, let's hop into it. He started up the whole Dude program because Blue Shirt Guy was so popular. So he's aware of marketing, and he's aware of approval ratings and everything. So he knows Free City 2 and anything further thing has no value. I just feel like at the end, I think it would have been a little bit more interesting for him to actually allow them to go. I mean, sure, I think it would have been interesting if he kept it a bluster front of, yes, I'm doing this for the money or something, but still let it go because he's not really getting anything from being more vindictive. But he's also not getting anything from just giving up right out either. So I wish he would be more aware of that because he seemed decently smart the rest of the time. But all that aside, I was about to just keep rolling with the review without stopping to say a few more shout outs. Channing Tatum, recognized them right off that opening scene. And I was like, oh yeah. I thought, oh yeah, we're going to see a bunch of cameos then. We didn't really. We got cameos from streamers and people like that, YouTubers, but not from like actors. But his character came back in a big way. Honestly, I forgot to talk about that. He may have been the funniest, just seeing the dances, seeing all that. I feel like that was one of the times they were really pulling from real Twitch culture and stuff. Just someone doing these goofy stuff. I mean, it's a little over the top, definitely heavily caricatured. I guess that could have been a complaint with the movie, was how over the top he's like, oh, these guys are gamers, oh, they're all trolls, oh, they're all whatever. It's just very popular to paint it that way, right? But I mean, it is a little weird when all the people you show who are actual gamers don't look or act anything like the people you're saying all the gamers are. I mean, it's a little weird, but at the same time, you can't say that a multiplayer game's not going to have people just like that, doing stuff just like that. I mean, it probably would have been a lot worse. And as Guy himself started to point out, yeah, people saying all kinds of stuff they really shouldn't be saying. So can't knock it. I mean, it's true. Sure, it's a little painted in really broad strokes in order to build up more comedy out of the situation. But yeah, Channing Tatum, really enjoyed his role here. I really forgot. He may have been my favorite in the movie after Taika. I don't think it really jumped out too far for me. Some good jokes. Some of it kind of fell a little flat. I really think, again, most of it, what I was really enjoying was just seeing Taika on the screen, just hamming it up over the top, trying to, perform some kind of sitting spring to his foot, to his feet kind of thing. Like, just stuff like that I found more interesting and more fun to watch. Ryan Reynolds is always a likable main character, even though I'm kind of beginning to realize in my head, a lot of times I've kind of attributed movies and stories to him, which were really Ryan Gosling, and I'm kind of realizing I think I like the more dramatic side that Gosling has more often, really. Reynolds is really good, and I do enjoy his humor a lot. But just thinking back, I actually do not know if I've really ever really connected with his characters that much. I mean, even Deadpool 2 in those scenes where it's really, you're like, oh yeah, but at the same time, it's Ryan Reynolds, it's Deadpool, it's fun in games. Ultimately, you're getting a tinge of sadness in there, a tinge of some real human emotion, but I don't know. For me, I just can't see past the overall humorous Detective Pikachu, Deadpool, Green Lantern. He's just all these characters. It makes him more of a character and less of a person to relate to. But overall, it was a pretty good movie. I think they wrapped it up pretty nicely. It was nice seeing some character dynamics. And I did enjoy the acting for most of them. I think there was some hamming it up, some cheesiness. There was definitely some things where they wanted to show some stuff and they couldn't, either due to rating or wherever. Yeah, you could kind of tell the way some things were written and shot and whatever, that it was kind of moved around a little bit, but that could also be part of them redoing things after, Disney appeared. So, yeah, overall, Free Guy, 3 out of 5. Pretty good movie. Check it out. This is Sense, and that's my review. Have a great day.